So again, we focus on that crowd that is gathered outside the Federal Plaza over on the Lafayette side. And if you look in the middle of your video there, there's a person up against the barrier there trying to engage with law enforcement on the other side of the barrier. Probably a little bit of yelling and shouting, but right now law enforcement not making their way to that person, so we'll keep an eye on that area down there. And we'll look over here by Duane. Excuse me again. More law enforcement in between Lafayette and Broadway, but again, we saw other agents, what appeared to be federal agents that were in the area there, have at least left the street side of the scene down here. Probably until we say we have to get fuel. And again, the people that have shown up here are pretty much gathered at the corner of Lafayette and Duane. Of course, you can look down there, you see Foley Square. Towards the center of your video, to give you an idea where we are, we're down in the what's labeled as Civic Center area. See the different buildings there that make up Civic Center, but this is the Federal Plaza area that we're looking at now. That's the Javits Federal building, the high-rise there. Did Quebec Delta leave? Oh, okay. Oh, it was right on the... Yeah, my window was blocking the slider. Positioned perfectly. You sound too much like me. Cut it out. Yeah, it's working. It's working. Feels like yes, but I'm not sure. Okay, folks. Trying to see if I can get our live stream back up here. Our internet goes in and out from time to time when we're in this area. Actually, I'll be honest, I'm surprised we're getting as much internet as we're getting. Usually over here, it doesn't come in as well. So I see Susan here asking questions. I'm sure other people may be jumping on, trying to figure out what we're looking at down here. This is right off of Foley Square. That's Duane Street in front of me here. And you have Lafayette crossing left to right. And you see the small crowd that has gathered that's left here. And you see the police over here. So what happened was a short time ago, earlier this afternoon, over here on Canal, which is that street right there. According to police sources talking to the CBS News New York newsroom, there was, excuse me 1 second, sorry, some federal agents from ICE and other agencies, they were conducting raids in this area, in the Chinatown area, along Canal Street, and they were targeting, or they were looking at vendors who were selling products that may have been counterfeit or what have you. Many of them in the Chinatown area. They picked them up and they took them down over here to Federal Plaza. And a group of people did follow down here. That's what you see gathered over here. When we arrived on the scene, we had seen a lot of those federal agents walking about here on Duane. Now, from what we understand, NYPD was not involved in the enforcement. It was on a federal level, and that's why they were brought down over here towards to Federal Plaza. Much of the activity with the federal agents seems to have wrapped up in the area there, but of course you still have this one group that's standing on Lafayette and Duane. So you do see some of the NYPD officers still just standing guard around the barriers as people stand there and at least try to get their voices heard or see what's going on down here. You see some of the media mixing in now with that group. Again, not a large group and not disruptive. Traffic still flowing through the area, people still being able to use the subways. But that is what we are looking at the moment. Our ground crews, we do have ground video that shows a tense scene when this is all going down, and some pushing and shoving happening along those streets down there. So, of course, we'll have more coming up at 6 o'clock. We have crews down there as well, so they'll give you the full story. But that's what we're keeping an eye down here to see how this crowd, how long they stand here, if it gets bigger, it gets smaller. Peter, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you have a good rest of your evening there. By the way, we thank Susan Robbins Turner, who had asked the question before. Thank you for joining us from Colorado. Again, this group not big in numbers down there, but they've been there for close to an hour now, it looks like. In the afternoon, he will, yeah. Do what you got to do. Yeah, like I said, don't worry. Ah, actually, for you, that would be very comfortable, wouldn't it? Make you feel right at home. Okay, so we're getting a small group now building up on the Broadway side. Saw a little police tape going up over here. Hadn't seen that crowd before. Again, that's Dwayne at Broadway. Chopper CBS desk. Hey, Robbie. It's very, very small, but there's a little group now building on the Broadway side of Dwayne. They start putting up police tape. Yep. Are we doing anything at 6? Okay. Perfect. Okay. We will be doing video at 6 here, Christopher. So we can just square up a little bit here and show the crowd a little bit on this end of the block. I appreciate it. Hey, Tim, got you loud and clear. Okie dokie. Joe King over in Ireland, by the way. Always love seeing you. Okay, standing by. Here we go. Okay, we're going to start on the other side, Dwayne. Okay, Chopper's CBS desk. Hey, Robbie. I guess I should jump back over to Fox now. Okay. Thank you, sir. Chopper on the Fox side. Yep, just letting you know I'm back. Yes, sir. Just letting you know, I'm back on this side with you guys. You got it. Okay, where are we on fuel, my friend? Until we have to go or be on the ground. Okay. Thank you. And by the way, folks, that's Church and Canal right there. Canal being the up and down street. Church goes left to right. That's the post office over there, top left side of your video. This is the general area in which the operations had happened with the federal agents. Okay, can look at the Chinatown area there to the right. And then we come back down here, and this is where the people taken into custody were brought to. fix our camera here for a second, folks. Nothing wrong with the feed. We're just fixing one of the video elements of our camera. Makes me have to close down that lens. And it appears a few more people. I've shown up here outside of Duane and Lafayette. And again, we begin to see a bit of a crowd, a small crowd, gather on the north side. Nope, that's not the north side, the west side of the complex over here. So you have the west end of Duane over at Broadway. We come down Duane over here toward the East intersection over here at Lafayette. The crowd has grown a little bit. You can see some signs showing up here now. We didn't see people with signs before. Anti-ice signs. Skyfox 389. Just checking in. We have probably 15 minutes maybe left of fuel before we have to go. Looking to see what you would like. Okay, I thought that'd be the answer. Just wanted to let you know. Thank you, sir. Hi to R. Thomas Fay. And hi to R. Thomas Fay. And you can see, folks, the crowd has grown just a little bit there. You can see the hand clapping in the video. We see the signs that are now up with several protesters. Not happy with the actions from earlier today. We come over here towards Foley Square a little bit. Not a lot of people hanging out in Foley Square, but you can see that everybody who is there kind of focusing over here on Lafayette and Duane. Starting to lose daylight, as you can tell in the video there. Again, folks, just going to reset my camera really quick. Kind of something to do a lot when we have the light changing like this. I don't like that.
White House that's really fickle and simple-minded. So we're trying to really get a grasp of who was arrested, what they're arrested for, but they have a lack of transparency. I did speak to the police commissioner, reached out to some of our federal representatives to see if we can get some additional information. One of the most interesting things that we heard, we're still trying to confirm, but I heard from a number of folks that this may have come from a social media post that someone posted about the vending that was going on here. And being how simple-minded the president is, I could see him actually responding that way. But you know, seeing what looked like army tanks and a swarm of people from federal government, this is a scary thing to see in New York. And this is where we are. I'm glad that the elected officials are out here now, and I'm more proud of the advocates doing the best they can to speak up for every New York.
I was going to ask, but this you might have already answered it. I saw Daughtry and Joseph Arlett down here. Is there any talks between the city and the federal government right now following this?
I hope so. From my conversations, it's really hard to get information. I got bits and pieces from different bastion of transparency, especially when it comes to the violence they are putting on against the immigrant community. Once again, you know, just be clear, this has nothing to do with hardened criminals, this has nothing to do with public safety. It just does not. And what we need New Yorkers and Americans to understand is that has nothing to do with public safety. What they're doing is causing fear and chaos. We don't even know how many people are in the federal building behind us. We heard there was a mixture of people who may have been vending and people who were protesters. So there's a lot going on. Unfortunately, there might be more to come in the coming weeks. And so we're hoping, I'm speaking to elected officials and leaders to make sure that we are kind of on the same page of how we're going to push back on this.
Shumani, is it your belief that this individual was the one that was taken into custody and was a vendor?
I don't know for sure. We're hearing a lot of mixed information. I'm even getting different numbers about who's back there. I heard it was a mix of folks. But you know, the most disheartening thing is that if it really was in response to a social media post, it just shows how much of a simpleton this president actually is, and how scary this time is. But you know, I think what I'm hoping for is in 3 months we'll have a mayor that cares a little bit more.
Finally, what's your message to greater New Yorkers? A lot of immigrants here, but you might find people not on the streets, on Canal Street, on Corona Plaza because of this, who might be scared that they might be arrested next.
Well, I can't tell them not to be afraid because this is a state. The president is trying to entrap people. We have a 34th convicted felon who is allowing state police, sanctioned police, to cause harm, assault people, and use racial profiling to just arrest whoever they want. So people have a right to be concerned. What we will say is we'll be honest about what's occurring now. And so we haven't seen people going to schools. We haven't seen people going into businesses. We want to make sure that continues. I do have a message to New Yorkers. As difficult as it may be when this happens, we don't want to give them any excuse to rain down more violence on New York City. So we're asking people, as they're protesting, as they should, as they're pushing back, do not give this president an excuse to unleash the new weapons that he just purchased, to provide more harm than he's already doing. We're going to try to be on the same page with that message. It's going to be difficult because it's going to be scary, but if we can be disciplined, make our voices heard, push back as much as possible without giving them an excuse to do more violence, I think it's the best we can do at this moment in time.
Ronnie, what do you know that actually happened?
Yo estoy cubriendo noticia, mijo. No, marica, estoy aquí en la vaina.
I thought he liked flying. Yes, to a degree. What were we going to say? Yes. Exactly. Yeah, right? Okay, so for Liz and Cheryl and those who are asking, you are looking down at Foley Square. Over here is Federal Plaza, down here in Lower Manhattan. And earlier this afternoon, federal agents, ICE and other government agencies, were over on Canal Street, which I can swing the camera around here and show you. This is Canal over here. And they conducted raids on street vendors here in the Chinatown area. They took some folks into custody. Those folks are suspected of selling counterfeit and maybe not legit items on the street there. And they were brought down here to 26 Federal Plaza. We had seen those government federal agents there walking up and down Duane by the building here. And of course, a group of people followed them down to this location. NYPD putting out a statement saying that the NYPD was not involved in the enforcement that was happening on Canal. This is on the federal level. So we do. So they are here just to make sure people stay on the other side of those barriers. You kind of see in your video there. Getting a little dark, I understand that. And this is the group that's still here. It's grown a tiny bit. You see some signs in the crowd now. We had seen some hand clapping going on, so. Okay, Christopher. Are you pretty much there? Okay. If we have to get fuel, we have to get fuel. Go ahead. And by the way, folks, we thank Katie Hewlett back at the CBS Broadcast Center. Let me know we were with you folks today. People are asking about the city skyline, the lights at night. There's your quick shot of the city skyline. Still a little glow there from the sun as it sets. See the Empire State Building. The JP Morgan Chase Tower just officially opened today. That's that building right there. Puts on its own little light show at some point. One Vanderbilt, of course. Okay, Christopher. Okay, folks. Get one more shot here of Foley Square and Federal Plaza as we begin to make our ride back to New Jersey. It's that time for us to go get some fuel. Get one more shot of the crowd at Duane and Lafayette. Okay, Chopper 2389. Okay, folks, as we begin to leave Lower Manhattan, we'll give you that nice little sunset shot in the background there with the lights coming to life on the big buildings here. We'll look at the harbor here as we make our way back. You can see Lady Liberty looking over the harbor. Kind of a neat angle on that.